Welcome, welcome, one and all. My name is Angela. I work at Spark. We host an annual Developer Academy. We're going to talk a lot about what that is, when it is, and how you can apply for it here on this call today. A little bit about Spark before we go. Spark is a nonprofit community development organization here in Omaha, Nebraska. We have a mission to help profoundly transform disinvested neighborhoods into prosperous and thriving communities. And that happens in a lot of ways, but mostly it happens through the work of other people. We are a capacity building organization, and this is one of our flagship programs because it's building the capacity of the next generation of real estate developers. And that's why you're all here. So we'll get to the good stuff. Let me figure out how I transition to the next screen. We're here today to talk about the Developer Academy, which is a real estate developer training course. And we're going to have a Q&A session. We have a graduate on the call with us. We might have another one come on just to talk about their experience and for you to ask questions. The goal is for you to leave knowing whether or not you're going to apply for this and knowing what this course is all about and why you should, or hopefully just why you should enroll or apply today. So the Developer Academy is an intensive training program. It's geared for emerging real estate developers, people in the Omaha Metro who want to transform property, either vacant lots or buildings that need to be renovated. We do consider this a program that seeks to diversify the current pool of developers in the Omaha community. We believe that people who should be transforming property in North and South Omaha are folks that have connections and ties to that. And we know that we live in a very segregated society. So it just so happens that the folks who live in these communities are frequently people of color, and that's who we're trying to target. We're not limiting the program to anyone, but we just want to increase the diversity of who's doing this work and who's benefiting from the work to include everyone. Participants are selected through a competitive application process. We have a limited number of spots each year that we can devote to training. This is one of many times you'll hear me say that the academy itself is just the beginning. We know that we can't teach you everything that you need to know about real estate development in 1 week. So this is just the first of many doors that you'll walk through. But we want you to have access to a lifelong membership of resources, tools, connections that will help you as you actually go through the real estate development process, maybe for the first or fifth or even 10th time. So you will become one of our Developer Academy graduates and have access to ongoing support. And that's part of the reason why we limit it, because we know that this is just the first part of your real estate development journey. So I'm going to get to the nitty-gritty details first before we open it up for questions. The Spark Developer Academy, or Develop Academy, as that slide says, will be held Monday, October 28th through Friday, November 1st. We know that this is tough for a lot of folks, because a lot of folks who are entering this space have other jobs. But this is how we have to do it right now because of who we have coming to help teach the class. So it is a Monday through Friday, all-day experience. You are required to come every single day. We run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're hosting some office hours in the morning, and then we typically have folks who stick around and after that 4 o'clock hour to network or to work on their capstone project or just hang out with us. There is one additional date that you'll be required to attend, and that's the capstone pitch, which we're going to talk a little bit about here in a few slides, on November 15th from 1 to 4 p.m. The location of the Developer Academy, it is an in-person course. We are located at the Mastercraft office, and we're going to be using one of our partners' training rooms, the Nonprofit Association of the Midlands. It's located down in the Millwork Commons area at 13th and Nicholas. I already said who this program is for. It's for emerging developers in the Omaha Metro. You have to be selected to get into the course. We're only going to take up to 20 individuals this time. Currently, we already have over 30 applications. So it is going to be a competitive process, and you have to apply for admission by September 16th in order to be considered. The cost of the program is $500. We do offer limited scholarships for individuals who demonstrate a need. And that's because we need you to know that real estate is not a cheap endeavor. You have to have capital. You have to have some funds available to get into this world. So that is why it is highly subsidized. If you were to enroll in courses like this on the open market, it would cost you upward of $2,000. So we consider a $500 investment equitable. So this class is going to have a variety of topics covered, some of them by us and some of them by local guest speakers and professionals. So it will contain a bit of traditional class format class lecture, and we'll cover the topics that you see on the screen: the goals of housing development, an overview of what the development process looks like, design and budgeting, how to finance your development costs, how to do cash flow analysis, preparing your profit and loss, working with construction folks, qualifying buyers if you're going to sell your products, and then a variety of other supports that can help you as a small business and to help you as you sell the homes that you're developing. So that's going to be information that comes to you in a traditional class lecture format. It is a small class and it is in person, so we will encourage questions and interactions and as many activities to help bring this information home as possible. But there will be a significant portion that is sitting in your seat and reviewing PowerPoint presentations. In addition to that, we also want to increase your network and how you can apply this information to your projects. So we have or are assembling a bunch of panels for every day that we meet, where you're going to be introduced to professionals in the field, including people who are doing this work themselves, other developers, people from the city of Omaha who you'll be interacting with as you go about the permitting and zoning processes, bankers who will actually fund your projects and show you how they underwrite how much money to finance for your project, general contractors, folks that you can connect with to actually build the dang thing, and then some panelists who have a variety of alternative financing sources. So a bank is just one way to get money for your project. There are some other more creative, more flexible financing sources, and we'll have those individuals come to class as well. In addition to those panels, we'll also be doing a field trip to explore a local development, get some hands-on eyewitness experience at the process. We'll be doing case studies where we actually do sample projects and see whether they make it or don't. And then, like I said, the class concludes with a capstone project where you and a team of your fellow participants will pitch to us a 10-minute presentation on either a real project that you already have in the works or a fictional project that you want to see if it could fly. The reason we do this is because we don't like tests ourselves, and we feel like the pitch process is way more applicable to real life. This is what you'll be doing when you go to a bank and asking for money for your project. So we want to have you experience what that's like in a friendly environment and have you put all of the knowledge and resources that you've gained throughout the class together in something that will help you in the future. We do have a little break, so class ends on November 1st. The capstone pitch isn't until November 15th. So you and your partners have time to work together and put together the financial modeling that you'll be presenting at the capstone pitch on November 15th. This is a slide that you can see on our website. It just kind of gives an overview of who we consider our ideal candidates. When we review applications, we review them anonymously, but we're looking for three things. We're looking for some sort of experience in real estate. We're looking for some sort of track record in trying a real estate development project. And then we're also looking for readiness. So folks who have property, who've assembled some sort of capital stack, who have identified a project that they want to work on, will score higher than those who are just at the very, very, very beginning of their real estate development career. And partly that's because this program is a feeder into our Spark Capital Loan Fund. As an organization, we've raised capital to invest in projects as well. You don't have to go through the Developer Academy to access that financing, but it does give you a leg up with our loan committee. And so we want to be focusing on projects that are very close to happening, not something that's 10 or more years down the road. Those are the three categories I just went over. We score on experience, your track record, and your readiness. So as you're answering your application, be mindful of those three criteria. The applications are open. They close on September 16th. It is an online application. If you have any problem with that process, you can contact me or Deanna at the Spark office. Our information is on the Spark website, and we can drop it in the chat. That is all the information that I have to share with you. I wanted to save the rest of the time that we have together to hear from some Developer Academy graduates. I know we have one on the call. Actually, I think we have a couple. I see Roman, and I also saw Zulma as well. So Jindai, we're going to start with you, and then we'll go to Roman and then Zulma. If you would please just share a little bit about who you are, when you took the class, kind of what you're up to now, and what you thought was the greatest takeaway. That would be great. You are muted, Jindai.
Oh, I was just saying, I'm not sure when I took the class. I think it was the second cohort, but the year.
You were 2021. Yep.
Okay, thank you. The years get blurred into everything, but thank you. I'm Jindai Fraser. I took the Spark Academy Developers Academy in 2021. I learned about the program because I called into the city of Omaha asking about some of their grant programs. And one woman there who was extremely helpful to me said, you should also look into the Spark Academy. So that's basically how I came to it. I'm currently working on a project on 28th and Pratt Street, North 28th and Pratt Street. It's fourplex townhouses. And the land is, a lot of the land is where my grandparents used to live. And so it's a neighborhood where I grew up and spent a lot of time as a kid. And so I'm really, this is very much a heart project for me. But I'm also looking forward to, doing this project, learning so much from it, but then going into other real estate development in North Omaha as well. What did I take from the program? First of all, substantive knowledge, the workbooks, the lectures. I took a lot of notes. I carry around my notebook to this day. It just has so much useful information. Also, I think that the exercises themselves and working with the other classmates was extremely helpful. They came from a range of, the real estate development sector, from contractors to real estate agents to everybody. And so I learned a lot from them as well. So I think the substantive knowledge was probably the one of the biggest takeaways. Secondly was the network, really the people who were presenting to us, from, the bankers to the general contractors. The general contractor that I'm using on this project, I learned from Spark Academy. I met him there and his wife. The owner's rep that I'm using, I met at the academy as well. So, the bankers, the contractors, the owners, reps, city officials, during the capstone, I'll recall, I enjoyed the capstone. It was an important project. And one of the city officials said, you didn't calculate in taxes correctly, right? And that was, my pro forma would have been a mess if I hadn't gotten those taxes right. And so they brought that to my attention, and I appreciated that. And then, the ongoing support. The pro forma template itself, I've used over and over and over again. So just that alone has tremendous value, but also I've applied for at least 4 different grant programs, or for 3 grant and 1 loan program. And Angela and others at Spark Academy, but especially Angela, even at the latest of the hour, and I'm like, I can't get it in. For some reason, it's not going. She's helping me. And in fact, called some city officials to say, look, she's finished her application, but it's not going through. So, from that to trying to figure out the financials on it, giving me the hard story of, you're just going to have to cut that budget. That's just what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to take something out, so that ongoing support is real. And I think probably is, all of it in a package is the value, but I think that ongoing support is just so much extra. And it is immediate when you need it. So that's it, Angela. And any questions that you all have, I'm happy to answer.
That's great. If you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. We're going to hear from Roman and from Zulma if Zulma's able to get on, but Roman first, just about their experience in class. And thank you for those kind words. That was really awesome. You sell the program better than I ever could. So thank you. Roman, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Roman Dimaxian. I'm owner and operator of RevPack Construction. I hold general contractor's license. I am 2022 grad, I guess, right? That was October, I believe, October, November. So yeah, I learned a lot. But I'm still dreaming about, develop by myself. Some, especially I'm thinking about the Omaha Municipal Land Bank's lots. There's a lot of opportunity to do some work there. I'm looking for partners, for collaboration on projects. Yeah, and then I was late. I don't know what else I should,
Just
say.
what was your biggest takeaway from the class?
Well, I learned a lot about, I would say performance, and a lot of networking. Like I met a lot of good professional people. So this is very valuable, and maybe, those formulas, performance, and etc. So it's easy to work on the, with the numbers. Which is extremely important when you're planning anything, the numbers, before you even start, thinking about dreaming about stuff.
You got to know if it's going to work.
your numbers. Yeah. So
Thank
that's
you,
it pretty much. Yeah, thanks.
Zulma, do you have anything to add? Do you want to tell who you are and gosh, what class were you in?
I don't remember. I think a couple years ago.
We've been doing this class since 2020, so they're all starting to get fuzzy. This will be our 7th cohort. And I want to say that you were in our very first in-person class.
I think the second, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you were in person though. You weren't online, or were you online?
In person.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been 2021.
I am a real estate agent with MP Dash, and I did the class maybe a couple years ago. And it is a lot of knowledge. When you are taking the class, you think, oh my gosh, this is too much, but I don't know if in real life I'm going to need it. Actually, yes, you will need it. You need to pay attention to all that numbers, performs, and everything, because one thing is like everything when you are studying, and another thing is when you are doing in real life. I did a project that is almost in the last, it's almost done. We did a house in North Omaha that needs totally remodeling, and now the house is on the market. For that reason, we are almost in the last part of the process, but it's a long process. You need to know what are you doing. For that reason, this class is so good, because just start doing that without having this class, I think that is going to be a big headache. The knowledge that you get is absolutely amazing, and it's easy to understand when you are doing the things, even that you don't know everything, but at least you can understand better what are you doing. And definitely working with Angela has been a blessing because she knows everything and all the time. And with our process, she was in sabbatical for a month. Oh my gosh, we miss you a lot because it was terrible. We was almost in the end of the process, but luckily the house is done and it's on the market, and we hope to find a buyer soon. And I really love all the things that we learn, and also the networking, because in the class there is people from all the different backgrounds, and you see a contractor for roofing, somebody that does something else, somebody that is a lot of professionals around that you get. Okay, you feel okay. I'm seeing that I can ask, and somebody's going to help me. It was so good. Was a very good experience.
Thank you, Salma. Thank you all three. Are there any other grads that I'm not seeing on the call that want to chime in? We have over 85 folks who've taken this class over the last 4 years. Like I said, this will be our 7th cohort. And we're just thrilled that you three joined the call today to share your experience, and we're looking forward to this next class. I do want to open it up now for questions. It looks like one came in on the chat. Thank you, Diana, for dropping in the application link. You also find my contact information if you have questions after this. Question is, how long after the completion of the class did it take for graduates to launch their projects? That question, I'm going to give you the lawyer answer. It depends. It depends on what they came in with. Some folks are still working to get their first project out the door. Some folks are still in pre-development, but we have had many folks who are already done with their first project post-class. Typically, I would say real estate development, you should expect a 2 to 3 year process. Again, depending upon what you're building or renovating, it's not a very fast thing. You're not going to come out of class and within 2 months have property. It's going to take you a while. So I would say a 2-year time frame is pretty typical of folks who come out of the class. I'll also say that there are some folks who come out of the class and realize it's not for them. And that's okay too. It is a lot. Being a real estate developer is about managing all of the risk and all of the things. It's like a great juggling act. And there are some folks who come out of it and decide they want to be doing real estate development, but they'd maybe rather work with somebody else's money. And so we've had folks who left the class and then took jobs at development companies, or went on to work for the city, or went on to work for an entity that offers alternative financing. So that's another okay outcome for us. As long as you're in the world of community development, or you're championing community development, we consider that a success. I haven't calculated the percentage recently. Like I said, we have 85 graduates. I would say probably 25% are actively working on something. Another 25% are in conversation with us about potential projects. It may be a little bit more than 25% that are actively doing it. I'd have to run the numbers. But then, like I said, there are several folks who go through the class and just decide, whoa, this is a lot, and it's not what I thought it was. And that's, like I said, also okay. There are other ways for you to impact your community in a positive way. Some stats that I can give you. We have folks who have gone through the class combined who have secured over $100 million in loans from banks, and more than $25 million in grants. So we do have folks who are actively doing it and making great strides. Are there any other questions? And my apologies. I am shoveling treats into my dog's mouth right now so that he doesn't bark on camera. So if you hear something slobbering, that's my dog. Any potential applicants on the call who have questions about the application process, about the class? If not, I'm going to see if there's any comments from Bowie or Ryan or Nikki, any of the Spark team, anything that you want to share that I missed. I know Bowie wants to talk.
Well, first of all, I was going to say thank you everyone for joining this question time, I guess, question session. My name is Bowie Tud. I'm the CEO for Spark. Also like to thank the former developers for coming on and giving us their views, and Angela for putting this time together. But most importantly, for everybody joining this call and taking the time to impact the community that we live in. That's one of the reasons why I joined this organization at that holistic development. But I do want to say, as you guys apply, as everybody applies, and some are able to get in and some are unable to get in, like Angela said, this is just a tool in the development journey. That doesn't mean it's going to stop here. We have our deep dives, we have our build sessions. We're committed to providing the technical assistance that's required to get you if you're in the process, or if your desire is to develop, we're wanting to be a strong support. And this isn't the last year. So if you apply this year or for some reason aren't able to get in, just be sure to attend the build sessions. And these build sessions are, These build sessions are designed to attack aspects and components of the development journey. So it'll really help you out, the build sessions and the deep dives, which is going to be online. So I just want to encourage you I don't think, I always tell people I got an economics degree and I got, a political science degree. I don't think I would have made it the first time, but I was going to try again and again before I got the job over at Spark. So I just want to encourage you to keep going on that journey. And again, it's just Developer Academy is just a tool. It's not the only thing that could give you access to capital that could put you on the development journey. So
that's a great point, Bowie. I forgot to mention our ongoing education. So we offer, right now it's quarterly, but I think we're going to be transitioning to monthly deep dives in 2025. Those are going to be open to everyone. You don't have to apply. They are webinars that are about a singular topic within the development ecosystem. So those are going to be great ways to kind of build your knowledge, whether you're a graduate or not. And then build sessions are kind of our in-person longer sessions. And those are held quarterly, where we do some kind of, usually it's a field trip of some sort, or a panel of some sort. Again, just to increase your knowledge while you're waiting for the next cohort to open up, or you want to just continue your knowledge and your networking after the class. We have a question in here. It says, I already applied. Will you notify all of the applicants of their status after the deadline, or just the ones accepted? Everyone will get notice whether you're in the class or not. We don't provide feedback at that time, but I would highly recommend setting up a meeting with me or anyone on the Spark Capital team if you're not selected, but you still want to access kind of technical assistance. We provide one-on-one support to everyone, regardless of whether they've been through the Developer Academy or not. So if you really are close to a project and you weren't selected for this cohort, there's still other supports that we can provide you. So I would encourage you to reach out and then also connect, like Bowie said, to those ongoing educational opportunities. I want to touch on one thing that, you're welcome. I want to touch on one thing that I think Jindai said. The networking in the class to me is really where it's at. The education, you can, it's great and it is comprehensive and it is a good overview, but you can access that from other sources. To understand the local market and the people that will help you make your real estate development project happen, to get to know them, to make a connection with them, to know that they are going to pick up the phone, is, to me, priceless. We couldn't put a high enough price tag on that. And you combine that with the fact that you're going to be in a cohort of 19 other people who are doing the same thing that you are, or trying to do the same thing that you are. And they are going to be there to listen to you when you hit a roadblock, to help you problem solve, and to be your greatest champions, and maybe even your partners in future developments. That's a really great tool to add to your tool belt as a real estate developer. So I just wanted to thank you, Jendai, for reminding me of that. I sometimes forget how important it is that you are going through this process with a cohort, because those are some relationships that can last a very, very long time. So thank you for that. All right. Are there any other questions, or is my dog going to win the day and I'll be able to let him outside? If you do have questions, my email is in the chat. Feel free to call the office or email us, and we will get your questions answered. Again, the application closes September 16th. If you've already applied, way to go. If you're thinking about applying, any questions you have, we're happy to answer, and we do encourage you to apply. Thank you all, and thank you to our 3 graduates for jumping on the call and sharing your experience. It's good to see you. That's the sad part of class, is we get to build these great relationships and then we don't see you for a long time, or we don't see you for months on end. So it's great to see you, Roman, Jendai, and Zulma. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and apply.